The Barangay Ginebra San Miguel is a professional basketball team playing in the Philippine Basketball Association since 1979. It is the most popular PBA team and currently holds 8 PBA titles. The team is owned by Ginebra San Miguel, Incorporated, a subsidiary of the San Miguel Corporation. The team is one of 3 PBA ball clubs currently owned by the SMC group of companies, along with the Purefoods Star Hotshots and the San Miguel Beermen. La Tondeña Incorporada joined the PBA in 1979 as an expansion team. After some rough times during their first few seasons, their fortunes changed when Robert Jaworski and Francis Arnaiz arrived in 1984, following the disbandment of the famed Toyota Super Corollas. As player-coach, Jaworski steered the franchise to 4 PBA titles between 1986 and 1997. In the post-Jaworski era, coaches Jong, Uichico and Siot Tanquingcen led the franchise to 4 more titles. Beginnings, 1979 to 1983, Gin, joining the league in 1979, the team was known as Gin of then owner and team founder Carlos Palanca Jr.'s La Tondeña Incorporated franchise. Its first head coach was Pilo Pumaran and was bannered by MICAA standout Willie Tanduyan and imports Larry McNeil and Dean Tolson. Gilbey's managed to place 4th in the 1979 Invitational Tournament. In the 1980 season, Nami Villegas took over as head coach. Willie Generale won the Rookie of the Year honors during the 1980 season as Gilbey's placed 4th in the All-Filipino Tournament. The franchise played under the name St. George Whiskey during the 1981 reinforced All-Filipino Conference. In 1982, playing again as Gilbey's Gin under new coach Arturo Vanzorna, the Gins made its first finals appearance during the Open Conference. But they were swept by Toyota of coach Edo Campo, Robert Jaworski, and Ramon Fernandez. Gilbey's made another finals appearance in the 1983 All-Filipino but were also swept by the Crispa Redmanizers in the first of 3 titles won by the Redmanizers. The Jaworski era, Gilbey's Gin Tonics. Before the 1984 season, Toyota announced its departure from the league after winning 9 titles in 9 seasons. As part of an agreement with new team Beerhausen, the rights of the Toyota players was acquired by Beerhausen. The team, owned by Lucio Tan, was entering its first year in the PBA. Jaworski, Francis Arnaiz, Arnito Adels and Quito Loizaga refused to join Beerhausen. This further ignited the internal Toyota feud between Jaworski and Fernandez, which went on for the next several years. With this development, Gilbey's accepted Jaworski and Arnaiz, Arnito Adels and Quito Loizaga joined Great Taste, while the rest of the Toyota players, led by Fernandez, joined Beerhausen. Following the addition of Robert Jaworski and Francis Arnaiz, these were mostly Toyota fans that followed the 2 players, cheered themselves hoarse in the rafters were the old raucous Toyota cheering squads in the rafters of the Araneta Coliseum. Jaworski and Arnaiz turned the moribund franchise into a competitive team almost overnight when in the first conference of the 1984 season, the All-Filipino Conference, they led the team to the finals against Crispa. Ginebra San Miguel. By 1985, Gilbey's was renamed as Ginebra San Miguel. However, the team failed to enter the finals in each of the 3 conferences, showing only a strong finish in the reinforced conference. The birth of Never Say Die. On October 22, 1985, in a game against Northern Cement, Jaworski was hit by an elbow from Jeff Moore late in the second quarter. Jaworski had to be brought to nearby medical site unregistered trademark S emergency room to get stitches on his lips. During the third quarter, NCC was leading when Jaworski returned to the bench. The biggest manifestation was when Jaworski came back from the nearby medical city with 7 stitches in his lip to lead the Gins to a come-from-behind victory against NCC. Jaworski incurred this from a wayward elbow inflicted by Jeff Moore in the second quarter. But with them behind by 15 points going into the final 7 minutes of the game, Jaworski re-entered the court and sparked a frenzy that to date, has yet been matched. The NCC team simply froze upon the sight of the Big J and didn't know what hit them, eventually losing to the Gins. Michael Hackett also saw his name in the PBA record books by scoring 103 points in Ginebra's 197-168 victory against Great Taste on November 21, 1985. This was later broken by Swift's Tony Harris in a 1992 game against Ginebra. Former Crispy import Billy Ray Bates was brought in for the 1986 Open Conference. Each PBA team was allowed to get 2 imports for the said conference. Bates' other partner was Michael Hackett, who was the 1985 Open Conference best import. It is believed that the pair was the greatest import tandem in PBA history. The two lead Ginebra in the finals of the tournament against Manila Beer, with Abet Guidaban and imports Michael Young and Harold Keeling. Bates and Hackett powered Ginebra to a 4-1 win in the series to win the 1986 PBA Open Conference and give the team its first ever championship. Unfortunately, Francis Arnaiz suddenly left for the United States before Ginebra won its first championship, ending his 11-year career in tandem with Jaworski. Or Ejo Rum 65. In 1988, Ginebra changed their name to Or Ejo Rum 65ers. The 65ers won the 1988 PBA All-Filipino Conference, their first All-Filipino championship and second overall title. They entered the finals via a classic playoff game versus San Miguel. Joey Loizaga made a perfect pass to Romulo Mamarol and made the game-winning basket. Or Ejo took on new team Purefoods in the finals. Or Ejo won the series 3-1 over the young Purefoods team led by Jerry Cody era, Alvin Patrimonio, and Jojo Lastimosa. During this time, Ramon Fernandez was benched by the Purefoods for alleged game fixing. In the final game, 365ers scored 25 points or more Joey Loizaga, Dondon Ampaleo, and Sonny Jaworski as the 65ers did not allow the then rookie-laden Purefoods team to gain confidence. The game was close all throughout until the final 3 minutes of the game when Loizaga and Jaworski uncorked 3-pointers that iced the win. This team is known as the best All-Filipino underdog team ever to grab the All-Filipino title. 1. Angel Rum also clinched the 1988 PBA IBA World Challenge Cup with Bobby Parks as their import by beating international teams and beating Alaska Air Force in the lone final game. In the season-ending reinforced conference wherein teams were allowed 2 imports each, Or Ejo again hired the great Billy Ray Bates and paired him with Kevin Gamble. After only 4 games, the PBA's greatest import ever was sent home for good. Or Ejo would finish the season with the exciting and high-scoring duo of Joe Ward and Tommy Davis as imports. On the next season, Or Ejo lost in 5 games to the Grand Slam-winning San Miguel Beermen in the third conference. In that conference, Or Ejo paraded another super import in Carlos Briggs, who easily bagged the Best Import award. In 1990, Or Ejo entered the finals of the first conference against Benji Paras and the Shell Rimula X team. In Game 6, with Shell already leading the series 3-2, Or Ejo protested a foul on Ray Cuenco with a few minutes left in the second quarter. This led to the infamous walkout of Or Ejo. The team also complained about the unfavorable officiating as the team had more fouls than Shell. In the end, the game was forfeited and awarded the title to Shell. The result of this event gave the team a fine of more than 500,000 Philippine pesos, which was then the highest fine in league history. Ginebra San Miguel, Indiana, 1991, Or Ejo reverted to playing as Ginebra San Miguel. They met Shell once again in the finals of the 1991 PBA First Conference. Shell goes up 3-1 in the series, needing only a win to clinch the series. But Ginebra managed a furious comeback to force a 7th game. In the final seconds of Game 7, an off-balanced shot by Rudy Distrito with a second remaining sealed Ginebra's 3rd PBA title and completed the greatest comeback in PBA history. Ginebra placed 3rd in the 1992 Reinforced Conference. But at that time, the team was starting to fade. In the 1993 pre-season, the Gins were given the 2nd overall pick in the 1993 PBA draft behind new team star Lucia Realty, which replaced Presto. They drafted former FEU power forward Victor Pablo but immediately traded him to the 7-Up bottlers for veterans Manny Victorino and Aljo Alala. The said trade was lambasted by most fans, and it cost Ginebra their performance for the year, where they compiled a 9-26 record in all three conferences. This horrible performance gave them the top pick in the next draft. In 1994, in an effort to change their fortunes, the team was renamed as Tondeña ± a 65 Masters. The team selected Nalai Loxin with their first pick, and was hoped to make team better. But Tondeña ± A's struggles continued, winning just 12 of the 32 games that year. In 1995, the team reverted again to Ginebra. They selected 7 €2 0 €3 center EJ File and also drafted Jaworski's son, Robert Jr. The drafting of File surprised people. They were expecting Ginebra to either draft Kenneth Durhams or Jeffrey Cariaso at that time. Jaworski later quoted, "It's not every day that you see a 7-footer applying for the draft." Unfortunately, misfortunes still struck the team as Ginebra won only 5 of the 30 games played that year, capped by a 0-10 win-loss record during the Governor's Cup. The worst season triggered rumors that Ginebra was disbanding. But the rumor was quickly killed off after the team posted a printed advertisement in major newspapers that they were staying in the PBA. Ginebra got the top pick again in the next draft. This was the last time a PBA team with the worst record was awarded the top pick in the draft. In the succeeding drafts, the worst PBA team had to compete with the second worst team via lottery to determine the top pick in the draft. In 1996, Ginebra used the top overall pick to draft controversial center Marla Aquino from Adamson University. Aquino was a big star in the PBL for Nikon and Stag Pale Pilsen, but was involved in a controversial scandal in terms of his academic status at Adamson, although this was later neglected when he jumped pro. Aquino showed the promise Ginebra fans expected during the All-Filipino Conference. It also showed the discovery of former University of Santo Tomas guard Bal David as one of the team's popular players, along with Vince Hizon, Jave Gayoso, and Pido Jarancio. In the Commissioner's Cup, the team paraded NBA veteran Henry James as Ginebra wound up in an elimination game against Formula Shell. Kenny Reedfield's buzzer-beating 3 enabled Shell to enter the finals. Ginebra finally entered the finals of the Governor's Cup but lost to the Grand Slam-winning Alaska Milkmen in 5 games. Aquino's impact on Ginebra gave the team a 30-game improvement from a year ago and was named as the Rookie of the Year. Gordon's Gin Boars. In 1997, Ginebra was renamed once again, this time as the Gordon's Gin Boars. Gordon's was now a contender for the league's 23rd season. One of the most memorable shots in team history was Bal David's final second heave from half-court to defeat the San Miguel Beermen by 2 points. Gordon's entered the finals of the All-Filipino against the Purefoods Corned Beef Cowboys. Purefoods managed to take a 3-1 series lead. In Game 5, they were about to score a winning basket after a Gordon's turnover. But Vince Hizon blocked Dindo Pumaran's layup, as the Boars lived another day. Unfortunately, in Game 6, the strong performance of Alvin Patrimonio and company denied Gordon's a title, losing the series 4-2. The loss marked Jaworski's last game with the La Tondeña ± a franchise and did not enter himself in a game since. In the Commissioner's Cup, NBA veteran Chris King became a replacement in time for the semis of the tournament. Gordon's met sister team San Miguel in an elimination semi-final match. It was a true classic game that went to double overtime. The Boars were down by 5 in the dying seconds of the first overtime, then came back to tie the game and win it in the next overtime period. The Boars won, 106-100, in what is considered their longest playoff game to clinch the second finals berth. In the finals, Gordon's eventually defeated Alaska in 6 games for the 1997 PBA Commissioner's Cup trophy, their first title in 6 years. This was their 4th overall title and the last under Jaworski. Marla Aquino was named Finals MVP. During this time, Jaworski thanked the Gordon's Gin fans for their support. Expectations were high for the Governor's Cup, but they were eliminated by Star Lucia in the quarter-finals. Jaworski resigns. In 1998, Jaworski ran for a senatorial seat for the elections which he won by a lot of votes. This led to a conflict between Jaworski's role in the Senate and his role as coach of Ginebra. Assistant Rino Salazar was named as interim coach at one point. Ginebra still struggled despite the addition of Jong Alvarez to the team. That year, Tanquingcen regained ownership of San Miguel Corporation. One of the moves the team made was adding Alan Koidic from San Miguel Beer. This caused a rift between Jaworski and the new management because he was not informed of the move. In a press conference held at the Senate, Jaworski resigned as player-coach of Ginebra. Jaworski was considered the oldest basketball player on any roster at 52 years of age during this time before he retired. Barangay Ginebra Kings. In 1999, the team was then officially called Barangay Ginebra Kings. In the All-Filipino, Barangay Ginebra only managed to finish 8th in the eliminations, and needed to win twice against the first-seeded Mobiline Phone Pals of Tagalava. The David and Goliath elimination game. The Kings managed to force a knockout game, winning the first game. In the decider, Barangay Ginebra came back from a 20-point deficit and David's off-balance game winner resulted in one of the biggest upsets in league history to advance to the next round. Tagalava was even seen crying in disappointment after the game when he failed to stop the smaller but quicker David. In the semis, they were eliminated by eventual champion Shell that was marred by a scuffle in Game 1 of the series. In the 2000 off-season, Marla Aquino was traded to the Star Lucia Realtors in exchange for John Limpot. The trade was considered as one of the biggest transactions done in the PBA. Another standout of Ginebra, Nalai Locsin, was later traded to Pop Cola during the Commissioner's Cup for Virgil Meanses, but it still didn't help the Kings throughout the season. Alan Koidic replaced Rino Salazar as head coach. Barangay Ginebra was eliminated early in the quarter-finals by Tanduay in the 2000 All-Filipino Cup, as well as the Commissioner's Cup. With Brian Green as import for the Governor's Cup, the Kings tried to repeat the same result of the 1999 All-Filipino against Mobiline. But this time though, the Phone Pals were able to beat Barangay Ginebra in the elimination game. In 2001, Barangay Ginebra drafted Mark Cagulo, a virtual unknown in the Philippines basketball scene. Despite that, Cagulo showed brilliance during the All-Filipino, earning his current nickname the Spark. The Kings finished 5th in the eliminations and faced Purefoods, who had a twice-to-beat advantage, in the quarter-finals. In a repeat of events the past 2 years, the Kings were able to defeat the TJ Hot Dogs twice, after an off-balanced game winner by Ronald Magtulis, to enter the semi-finals. The Kings faced Shell in the semi-finals, and Barangay Ginebra upset the top-seeded Turbochargers in 5 games to meet sister team San Miguel in the finals. Barangay Ginebra trailed 0-2 but won the next 2 games to tie the series at 2-2. In the end though, the Beermen won the series in 6 games. Ginebra's success in the All-Filipino were not duplicated in the Commissioners and Governors Cup as they were eliminated in the quarter-finals. After the season, the Kings acquired Eric Menk from Tanduay to solidify their front line for the 2002 season. Unfortunately, Menk was loaned to the Philippine team and the Kings struggled throughout the Governors and Commissioners Cups, once again failing to enter the semis. In the All-Filipino, Menk made his Ginebra debut but the team did not enter the quarterfinals. Romel Adukul finally made his PBA debut after his years with the Metropolitan Basketball Association. Barangay Ginebra selected the former San Sebastian College, Recoletos Stag as the number 2 pick in the 2003 draft. His addition though did not help Ginebra's fortune to change in the 29th season. In the All-Filipino Cup, they were eliminated by eventual champions Tanquingcen Phone Pals in the quarterfinals. They also failed to qualify for the Invitational Tournament, after being eliminated by eventual champions Alaska Aces in the qualifying rounds. In the season-ending Reinforced Conference, they were knocked out by then-sister team and eventual champions Coca-Cola Tigers in the quarter-finals. The Fast and the Furious. In the 2004 Euro 2005 season, Kaguya along with his comeback partner JJ Helterbrand, formed a strong backcourt tandem, which ABC Sports later dubbed as the Fast and the Furious. Their tandem enabled Ginebra to win back-to-back championships. Kaguya also set his then-career high during the season, scoring 43 points in Game 4 of the Philippine Cup Finals against the Talken Text Phone Pals, 2004 Euro 2005, back-to-back titles. In 2004, the league shifted to a two-conference setup with a special transitional tournament known as 2004 PBA Fiesta Conference was held to bridge the transition between the 2003 and 2004 Euro 05 PBA seasons. As the league made significant changes, so did the team, which made the Kings more competitive. Alan Koidic was moved to the position of team manager and former San Miguel assistant coach C. Tanquingcen became head coach. The team also traded John Limpot and Rob Johnson to Purefoods for Andy Siegel and Rodney Santos via the Star Lucia Realtors, which received a future first-round pick. During the conference, Tanquingcen used a three-guard combination lineup of Santos, Helterbrand and Kaguya, which enabled the team to have a running game. It was during this time that the backcourt tandem of J.J. Helterbrand and Mark Kaguya became known as the Fast and the Furious in reference to their running game and to the movie of the same name. On July 7, 2004, Barangay Ginebra ended a 7-year title drought when they defeated Red Bull Barako in a best-of-5 finals, 3-1, capturing the transition 2004 PBA Fiesta Conference. During that time, DeRay Braggs was their import. It was considered a miracle as the team was not expected to make it far after being seeded just 7th after the classification rounds. In the elimination wildcard phase, they came back from a 21-point deficit to beat the Star Lucia Realtors. In the quarter-final round, they had a 2-1 record, enough to make it to the semi-finals. In the best-of-3 semi-finals, they eventually survived the Talken Text Phone Pals in Game 3 on their way to the finals. On February 11, 2005, Barangay Ginebra proved that the last championship was not a fluke by winning the next conference, the 2004-05 PBA Philippine Cup, a conference without imports. They dethroned the defending champions Talken Text Phone Pals, 4-2, in a controversial best-of-7 finals series. Game 1 was forfeited in favor of Ginebra when Phone Pals center Asi Taulava, who was ineligible to play, entered the game. His citizenship case was still on the Bureau of Immigration and Deportation. The Kings filed a protest prior to the start of Game 1. Barangay Ginebra carried the momentum and went on to win the championship. This was the team's first back-to-back championships in franchise history. 2005 Euro 06. Ginebra Red Bull playoff duel, the Kings' victory over Red Bull in the 2004 Fiesta Conference broke the flawless finals record of the Bulls. And it proved to be costly too, as Red Bull would go on to defeat Ginebra in the next 3 tournaments that would follow after the Kings' back-to-back championships, denying the Kings numerous chances to rewrite history. In the 2005 PBA Fiesta Conference, Barangay Ginebra had a chance to rewrite history by winning the last possible 3-conference championship Grand Slam. Unfortunately, obstacles such as import problems, injury to J.J. Helterbrand and the suspension of future MVP Eric Menk due to citizenship issues, made the team struggle throughout the conference. They placed 9th of 10 teams in the conference after being swept by Red Bull Barako in the best-of-3 wildcard phase of the playoffs. Red Bull Barako took 4th place after being defeated by eventual champions, and Ginebra's sister team, San Miguel Beermen. In the 2005 Euro 2006 Fiesta Conference, Barangay Ginebra was seeded to the semi-finals after winning the second seed playoff against Red Bull Barako. Original import Sean Lampley was replaced in time for the playoffs, by former Auburn University standout Chris Porter, in order to strengthen Ginebra's quest to regain the Fiesta Conference title. But his addition was not enough to help the Kings reach the finals. They faced Red Bull Barako again in the semi-finals, and eventually lost in the series, for €3. The Kings came back and tied the series, after being down €1-3. It was an emotional series, who were expecting for a repeat of the historic comeback made by the team during the 1991 First Conference. After the series, Tanquingcen apologized to the team's fans. It was also revealed that Mark Kaguya was playing hurt and had a hamstring injury throughout the series. Barangay Ginebra battled Air 21 Express in the third-place game but lost. In that game, a lackluster Barangay Ginebra team played, which was believed to be still emotionally down from their Game 7 defeat. Red Bull Barako eventually won the championship against the Purefoods Chunky Giants in 6 games. In the 2005 Euro 2006 Philippine Cup, Barangay Ginebra finished with a 7-9 record in the classification. Being defending champions, they were considered as favorites to win the tournament. Unfortunately, injuries haunted the team as players began to fall one by one. Standouts Eric Menk and Rommel Adukal and rotation players Rodney Santos and Andy Siegel all suffered injuries during the conference. The Kings made a gallant stand in the wildcard phase as reserves Mark Macapagal, Alan Salangsang, Manny Ramos and Irvin Soto stepped up their game. Ginebra took the 6th and final spot in the quarter-finals after defeating Air 21 on June 4 with a 118-114 overtime victory as Mark Kaguya recorded a career-high 45 points. However, the Kings still fell short as they were eliminated in the quarter-finals by Red Bull, 3-2. After Ginebra led 2-1 in the series, the Bulls clinched the series by defeating the Kings by more than 25 points in their last 2 games. The Bulls went on to survive the Beermen in 7 semis games, before being denied a Grand Slam themselves by the Giants. 2006 Euro 07 season, Sister Act. In the off-season, the Kings were involved in the controversial 3-way team trade with Coca-Cola Tigers and Air 21 Express. The first part of the trade saw the Express sending Ryan Bernardo and its 2007 and 2008 first-round draft picks to the Tigers for Rafi Rivas, Billy Mammarel and the rights to Rudy Hatfield. The second part sent Rivas, Mammarel and Hatfield's rights from the Express to the Kings for Kalani Ferreira, Aries de Manon, Manny Ramos, and Irvin Soto plus the Kings' 2 second-round draft picks that year and a future first-round pick. The third part was voided by former Commissioner Naulai Ila, which would have allowed the Express to regain its own 2007 and 2008 picks plus the Tigers' 2008 second-round draft pick from Coke, in exchange for Ferreira and Ramos plus the second-round pick this year and the future first-round pick. Air 21 and Coca-Cola submitted a revised version of that part of the trade and was approved by Ila. Under the revised version, the Express will trade Manny Ramos and Kalani Ferreira plus 2 second-round picks acquired from San Miguel and Ginebra to the Tigers. The Tigers retained Air 21's 2007 and 2008 first-round picks but traded away their 2008 and 2009 first-round picks. The trade was viewed by many within the league as a one-sided trade. It also speculated the rumors of Coca-Cola's possible disbandment from the league, which was denied in a statement released by the president of Coca-Cola Bottlers Philippines Incorporated, CCBPI, and PBA Board of Governors for the Coca-Cola Tigers. Also, the coaching staff underwent a revamp with Jong Uichico, from sister team San Miguel Beer, taking over coaching duties from Siot Tanquingcen. Tanquingcen became assistant coach, along with Art Dela Cruz and Juno Soler. Dela Cruz is also from San Miguel Beer, having served as assistant coach, while Soler is a holdover from Tanquingcen's coaching staff. Uichico, Tanquingcen, and Dela Cruz powered San Miguel Beer in their late 90s championship run and also helped win their 17th title. As part of their preparations for the 2006 July PBA season, the team competed in the 6th Shell Rimula Brunei Cup but failed to make it to the semis after losing close games. They started the PBA pre-season tournament with a 90-75 drubbling of Purefoods, 2, but failed to advance to the pre-season finals due to an inferior 2-2 record. Rudy Hatfield made a league comeback and signed with Ginebra. Johnny Barrientos followed suit 2 weeks before the start of the season. In the season opener, the Kings defeated the expansion team, Welco at Dragons, 100 to €69, on October 1. Two victories over sister team Purefoods and Air 21 gave Ginebra a good 3-0 start before being defeated by Red Bull on October 15. Rommel Adukal was later sent to the San Miguel Beermen as part of a three-team deal which involved Red Bull, a non-SMC club. Ironically, the following game saw the two sister teams face off at the Cuneta Astrodome, in a game which the Kings won in overtime, 101-97, after the Beermen led by as much as 20 points during regulation. At the middle of the classification round, changes still happened to the team. The team acquired Ronald Tuwid from the Air 21 Express. 4. The team managers of the SMC teams were also shuffled. Ginebra's team manager, Alan Kordic, was replaced by Samboy Lim, and Kordic was sent to the Coca-Cola Tigers. The Kings advanced straight to the semi-finals after becoming the number 1 team at the end of the classification phase. 5. In the semi-finals series against the Tanquingcen, they were able to win the crucial Game 5 after the series was tied to €2, leading to the series-clinching Game 6 win. In the finals, Ginebra met San Miguel Beermen and fell behind 0-2 in the series, similar to their 2001 showdown. But unlike in 2001, this time the outcome was different. The Kings would win the next 4 games, with Games 3 and 4 being blowouts, to win the 2006-07 PBA Philippine Cup, becoming only the 5th PBA team to win the title after losing the first 2 games. It was a sweet revenge for the Kings as J.J. Helterbrand, who sank 2 crucial free throws in Game 6, was named Finals MVP. Mark Kagullo also won the Best Player of the Conference award. After winning the Philippine Cup title, starters Kagullo, Helterbrand, and Menk were all loaned to play for the Philippine national team competing in the FIBA Asia Championship. They also lost Rudy Hatfield early in the first round due to personal problems, but their import Rod Neely provided the scoring for the Kings. Despite a depleted lineup, they still managed to finish 12-6 as 3rd seed and earned an outright quarter-finals berth, mainly due to the strong play of Agaya Chavez, Mark Macapagal and Jack Kaya, who shined in the absence of the starters. In the quarter-finals, they faced the San Miguel Beermen again, but ended the series differently. This time the Kings took Game 1 with a 113-87 victory, but San Miguel took Game 2 and won an overtime thriller 117-114 in Game 3, thwarting the Kings' chance to win a second pair of back-to-back titles. 2007-08 season, Ginebra vs Air 21 showdown. In the off-season, the Kings made few adjustments to their roster by trading Mark Macapagal to Coca-Cola for guard Chris Pacana and Jack Kaya to Tanquingcen for veteran Vic Pablo. They also boosted their backcourt by drafting Maggie Escalona from Ateneo and acquiring Paul Artadi from Air 21 after being traded by Purefoods. They also added depth by getting Willie Wilson. Still, they lacked interior presence due to the loss of Hatfield and injuries to Rafi Rivas and Billy Mamarill. Despite having Helterbrand back in the lineup, they have yet returned to their competitive form because Kagullo got injured. They won the opening game against Red Bull but finished the eliminations 8-10. They ended up in the wildcard phase where they met Air 21 and lose 119-110, ending its title defense. After failing to defend their Philippine Cup crown, they signed Alex Crisano to supplement their front court and Roshan Turner as their import for the 2008 PBA Fiesta Conference. Despite a different look, the Kings had a slow start, losing their first 5 games with both Turner and Ernest Brown. To stop the losing streak, they replaced Brown with another recruit from the NBA Development League, Chris Alexander, whose inside scoring and rebounding helped the Kings win 10 of their next 13 games in the eliminations. The Kings ended on a high note, ending the eliminations 10-8 with an outright quarter-finals berth. They faced the Star Lucia Realtors in the quarter-finals and completed a 2-game sweep en route to another showdown against Red Bull. In the semis, which everyone predicted to be a 7-game showdown, saw the Kings sweep the Barracos that included a 101-97 overtime victory in Game 4. so convincingly was the sweep that they shamed Red Bull all throughout the series. After the last game of the series, the Barracos went all the way to their locker room without congratulating Barangay Ginebra. This gave Ginebra its first series sweep in franchise history, and its 17th finals appearance. This also gave Jong Uichico his 12th finals appearance and the third sweep in league history since the 1992 third conference when Swift swept 7-up in the finals. The Game 4 victory extended their winning streak dating back from the eliminations to 12. In the finals, they met the Air 21 Express who sought to win its first franchise title. At the opener, the Kings extended their winning streak to 13 with a 105-96 victory. But in Game 2, J.J. Helterbrand injured his hamstring giving the momentum to the Express for a 124-90 rout, the worst loss of Uichico in his entire coaching career. As their injuries continued to pile up, they lost Game 3 and Helterbrand for the rest of the series. However, the Kings managed to tie the series with a 90-77 win in Game 4. Ronald Tuwid also returned during Game 4 from a dislocated left ankle and left Ginebra, but lost a close 76-73 in Game 5. In Game 6, the Kings proved that they were more worthy of the title by extending the series to a Game 7 with an 80-75 victory, thanks to Alexander's 37 points to lift the Kings despite an injury-plagued lineup. In Game 7, with the injury suffered by Jong V. Valenzuela and Chris Alexander having cramps in the third quarter, the locals led by Ronald Tuwid and Eric Menk had a terrific performance to maintain the lead and seal the 97-84 victory, and won the series 4-3 to grab their 8th championship. With the victory, they surpassed Purefoods in titles won. Tuwid and Menk was named as Finals co-MVP. Jong Uichico also won his 8th PBA title as a coach and his second with the Kings. A record crowd of 22,902 witnessed Kings unregistered trademark coronation, the biggest in Araneta Coliseum since the legendary Crispa Toyota days. 2008-09, San Miguel Ginebra 2, during the off-season, Ginebra decided to go on the free agent market to finalize their roster instead of signing undrafted rookies. Due to their aging and injured frontcourt, Ginebra decided to fill their void at the forward position by signing the 6'6" former DLSU archer Jong Capchu to a 2-year contract. They defeated defending Philippine Cup champion Star Lucia Realtors and the team that they defeated in the previous season's 2008 PBA Fiesta Conference Finals, the Air 21 Express. After winning the first 2 games, Ginebra then went on a 5-game losing streak before moving on the winners' bracket with a victory over the Coca-Cola Tigers. With a victory over the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters on Christmas Day, they finished the eliminations with a 10-8 card, and an outright berth to the quarter-finals. Then they faced a familiar foe, their sister squad San Miguel. And in Game 1, they lost a 1-point thriller. Ginebra then exploded in Game 2 even after losing an 18-point lead in the end game, they tied the series to 1 game apiece. In Game 3, the Kings were steamrolling with a 21-point lead only to lose the game and the series as the Beermen went on to face the Torquay Tropang Texters in the semi-finals. In preparation for the 2009 PBA Fiesta Conference and to fill up their injury-plagued lineup, they acquired Chico Lannert, Doug Kramer, and J.C. Intel from the Air 21 Express in exchange for their 2012 and 2013 draft picks. The Kings, though, lost big man Alex Crisano after deciding to let go of their center to Barraco Bull Energy Boosters in exchange for a 2010 second-round pick. Ginebra's comebacking import Rod Neely scored 42 points, 23 rebounds, 9 assists in his first game in the conference. After which, they fell to 2-5 before the Holy Week break and they sent Neely home. While looking for the right import, they almost got one through former Los Angeles Clippers forward Ryan Humphrey, but he exceeded the height limit of 6'6". After the break, they came back strong with a win over Rain or Shine 94-89 despite an all-Filipino lineup. To beef up their lineup, they acquired Cyrus Baguio and Homase from the Burger King Whoppers in a 3-way trade including Purefoods. After weeks of trying to find an import, they finally signed former Milwaukee Bucks and Los Angeles Clippers swingman David Noel, who was listed as 6'5" to further boost their depth as they try go deeper in the eliminations. Noel made an impressive debut with a triple-double in a 100-94 win over Burger King. Noel also displayed his athleticism by showing his high-flying skills in the 2009 PBA Slam Dunk Contest, besting co-imports Gabby Freeman and Anthony Johnson to win the imports category and Gabby Norwood to win it overall, joining Paul Artadi, who won the obstacle challenge earlier, as the Kings won 2 of the 3 events. His dunks included a Michael Jordan rock the cradle dunk, a tossed windmill, and a backflip then 360 dunk that gave him a perfect 100 from the judges, including U.S. Ambassador Christy Kenny, and due to the fans' request, he did a familiar Julius Erving foul line takeoff to cap the contest. In the main event of the evening, which is the All-Star game between the Power Team Pilipinas and the import-laced PBA All-Stars, Noel again won the All-Star Game MVP as the All-Stars defeated the Nationals 97-89. As of this moment, the Kings are 8-1 with Noel as their import, and they clinched the A semi-final berth in the conference along with the San Miguel Beermen as they pounded the rain or shine Elasto Painters 114-71. The Kings were without high-scoring Mark Cagulo, who was still recuperating from an injury in the United States. Cagulo, one of the prolific scorers in the PBA, did not play in the previous conference, and his absence hurt the team a unregistered trademark campaign. Jong the Valenzuela is also on the injured list. 2009 10. In preparation for the 35th season, Ginebra was included in a 3-way trade with Burger King and Purefoods. They sent Paul Artadi, Rafi Rivas, and 8th draft pick Chris Timberlake to Purefoods for Enrico Villanueva, Rich Alvarez, Paulo Bigia, and Celino Cruz. They also traded their 18th draft pick Orlando De Roya to Burger King for Popular Villanueva, but Villanueva never made it to the team. Meanwhile, they released guard Mackie Escalona, and forward J.R. Aquino to free agency and waived center Homer Say. They also released guard Chris Pacana, who was later signed by the Star Lucia Realtors, and placed forward Jong Capchu to the practice player list. On other reports, Ginebra coach Jong Uichico confirmed that they signed Eric Menk to a 1-year contract extension for the Kings. Ginebra then released guard Chico Lanit and was later signed by the Burger King Whoppers. Prior to this release, they signed Torken Tex Tropang Textars 18th overall pick Kevin White to a 1-year deal. In the Fiesta Conference, Rudy Hatfield came back to the country and signed a 1-year contract with Ginebra. During the mid-conference, Ginebra acquired Yancy Diocampo and a 2010 second-round draft pick from the Burger King Whoppers in exchange for Rich Alvarez and Doug Kramer, and acquired the former Metropolitan Basketball Association MVP, John Ferriels, who became an unrestricted free agent after being on the reserved list by the Alaska Aces. Due to lack of impressive point guards in their lineup, they traded high-flying Cyrus Baguio to the Alaska Aces and got the 2-time MVP Willie Miller. Ginebra also traded Billy Mamarol to Air 21 Express for Mike Cortez in the latter part of the conference. The Kings' first import was Of Story, but he was then replaced by Mildon Ambrose because of his inconsistencies. Ambrose's performance was also not far from Story's output. The team again made an import change. Denham Brown, a Seattle Supersonics draftee, and a standout from the NBDL squad Iowa Energy, also struggled in 5 games when he played for the team during the last round of the eliminations. Ginebra looked for winning combinations with the new players in their lineup. But, they still failed to secure a playoff berth for the semi-finals. Being tied with the Elasto Painters, he played for 1-game playoff for the last quarter-finals berth. The result was, the Kings defeated Rain or Shine, 115-88, in the lopsided win. Barangay Ginebra then renewed its historic battle with 4th-seeded Alaska Aces in the quarter-finals. This was a rematch between the two teams that tangled in the semi-finals of the 2009 Philippine Cup. Alaska took a 2-0 lead. Diamond Simpson powered his way to a 20-20 game in the first game, and Barangay Ginebra as the Aces topped the Kings, 76-72, in the opener of this quarterfinals. In Game 2, Alaska showed poise at crunch time. The Aces came up with big plays down the stretch while the Kings could not, enabling the Aces to escape with an 84-82 win. Simpson capped a 30-point game with his 17th rebound that sealed the game just before the final buzzer. Eric Menk and import Chris Daniels provided scoring, but their backcourt were again invisible, with Mark Kigulo, Willie Miller, Mike Cortez, and J.J. Helterbrand struggling in the game. In Game 3, Ginebra came with a breakthrough win that fanned the hopes of the team. Not one but several Kings heeded the call and resulted in a 91-87 win over the Alaska Aces that kept the Kings' hope for the quarter-finals series. J.C. Intel, who came off the bench, exploded for 20 points, delivering what Mark Kigulo and Will Mllea could not, while providing both inspiration and boost to the team. A unregistered trademark S cause of eluding Alaska unregistered trademark S broom. The Kings forced a rubber match when they got balanced scoring from their roster with a 94-90 win over Alaska in Game 4. J.C. Intel and Ronald Hewitt hit consecutive three-pointers in the final 3 minutes, while Sunday Silvassian came through with a game-sealing free throws with 2.6 seconds left in Game 4. Ginebra failed to win the quarterfinal series with a heartbreaking 91-93 loss with Aces. In Game 5, Tenorio drilled a difficult triple at the buzzer which seemed enough to propel the Aces to a victory and erected a 6-point lead, 90-84, with just 2:15 left in the match. Willie Miller scored on a layup off a broken play as Ginebra cut the Alaska lead to 490-86 with 1:27 to go in the game. Miller then followed up a missed layup by his teammate to push Ginebra even closer, 90-88, with 31 seconds left. Eric Menk then intercepted a long pass by Simpson, grabbing the ball at midcourt, then zipped the ball over to an open J.J. Helterbrand, who drilled a three-pointer as the Kings pulled ahead of Alaska, 90-91, with 28 seconds left. But Ginebra, unable to pull a tough defensive play, when Diamond Simpson scored from underneath to push Alaska ahead for good, 92-91, with just 5 seconds left to play. Cyrus Bagulo then double-teamed an attacking Eric Menk and stole the ball from Menk that finalized the score on a split from the line, 93-91. 2010-11, two-time Most Valuable Player Willie Miller signed a 2-year contract with the Kings. Billy Mammarell then returned to Ginebra after a stint with their 21 in exchange for a future draft pick. Three-time champion coach Siot Tanquingcen rejoined the coaching staff of the Kings. To start building its future, with 11 players who were age 30 and over, Ginebra picked 3 rookies. They drafted 2009 NCAA season MVP John Wilson from Jose Rizal University and 2009 NCAA Finals MVP Jimbo Aquino from San Sebastian College in the first round, and University of the East's Robert Labergler in the second round of the 2010 PBA draft. They also released Paolo Bigia, John Ferriels, Kevin White and John Carpchu, and traded Sunday Silvassian to the Barako Bull Energy Boosters for a future first-round draft pick. They signed its 3 rookies after a week, giving the Kings a mixture of youth and experienced backcourt. Wilson and Aquino were given similar 2-year contracts worth $5.7 million, while Labergler got a 1-year deal worth $800,000. On July 18, 2011, two-time Most Valuable Player Willie Miller was traded to Air 21 in exchange for near ± Okanalta and 2012 future pick. 2011-2012 season. After a lackluster previous season, assistant coach Siot Tanquingcen was named co-head coach of the Kings, who coached alongside Jong Uichico as head coach. After the news that power forward Rudy Hatfield left the Kings due to personal matters, the team selected Raul Cervantes and James Martinez in the 2011 PBA draft, but only kept Cervantes due to the guard-heavy roster. J.J. Helterbrand signed only a near conference contract extension, due to his desire to find out if he still had it, and if he does not, he announced that he would retire after the conference. Ginebra drew flack that season for starting the younger, inexperienced guards such as John Wilson and Rob Labergler instead of holdovers Mark Kigulo and J.J. Helterbrand, a move intended by Coach Siot to speed up the development of the younger guns of Ginebra. Because of that, Ginebra managed to barely escape two rival teams successively, as well as experience a two-game losing streak right after. On November 16, the Philippine Basketball Association Commissioner Quito Salud approved a trade that sent Eileen Maliksi and former Rookie of the Year Rico Mayahoffa to Barangay Ginebra Kings, while Jimbo Aquino and 2013 first-round pick of Ginebra will be given to Barako Bull Energy, and 2002 PBA first overall pick Yancy de Ocampo and the 2012 second-round pick of Ginebra will go to be Megalomados. Barangay Ginebra finished fifth in the Philippine Cup eliminations with a 9-5 record. They entered the quarter-finals but they were defeated by rain or shine in a best-of-3 series. On January 11, 2012, Jong Uichico resigned from the San Miguel Corporation to become one of the assistant coaches of the Smart Healers national team. On the same month, Ginebra acquired Kirby Raimundo for JC Intel, and Dylan Ataba for guard forward Ronald Tuwid and forward Rael Cervantes. They also reacquired veteran Rudy Hatfield and brought back old import, Chris Alexander in Commissioner's Cup, but after 3 games, the team replaced him with NBA veteran Jackson when the team won the playoff for second place in semi-finals berth. Kagulo suffered a scary eye injury on that game. Ginebra failed to advance in finals, bowing to Megalomados in semi-final series. In the season-ending Governor's Cup, Mark Kagulo returned to play and wore a protective glasses during the game. The team hired import Cedric Boseman, and led the team to semi-finals round with 5-4 standing in the eliminations. The conference was highlighted with the retirement of Robert Jaworski's number 7 jersey on July 8, before the semi-final game between Barangay Ginebra and Petron Blaze. However, the team failed again to advance in finals in a heartbreaking loss to Lomados during the one-game playoff for the second finals berth. Mark Kagulo was named Best Player of the Conference for the Commissioner and Governor's Cup. Mark Kagulo waited 11 years before finally winning the Most Valuable Player award, and he dedicates it to people who never left his side. Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. For the 2012-13 PBA season, the team was named as Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. On January 1, 2013, team consultant Al Francisco was appointed as head coach, while Siot Tanquingcen slides down as lead assistant coach for the 2012-13 PBA Philippine Cup. Quo was able to steer the team to the finals. They defeated the second top-seeded Rain or Shine in the quarter-finals from a twice-to-beat advantage. Import Vernon McLean got 2 crucial free throws in the last 12 seconds of the fourth quarter, despite a poor free throw performance, to lead at 81-79. The Elasto Painters managed to set another chances, passing the ball to Jeff Chan who drives to the basket, but BGSM Import Vernon McLean block it so quickly. With 7 seconds remaining they pass the ball to Paul Lee but missing the three-point line. Jeff Chan got the ball but also missing the layups as the time is over. Barangay Ginebra survived the game and will face against the Torquen Text Tropang Texters. After beating Torquen Text in the semi-finals in 5 games but was eventually swept by Alaska in the best-of-5 series. On July 16, 2013, newspapers reported that Quo has reportedly resigned as head coach of Barangay Ginebra, announcing his decision to the players in their first practice session yesterday for the coming PBA Governor's Cup. Online reports said Quo decided to step down following disagreement with the management on the coaching shake-up and player movement during the conference break. On July 25, 2013, San Miguel Corporation announced that Atto Agustin shall take over as interim head coach, while Quo shall become team manager. Indiana, 2013-14 PBA Philippine Cup, they finished the eliminations with first slot in semis. They also beat Alaska Aces to advance in quarterfinals. They faced with San Miguel Coffee Mixers in seemingly war of attrition, tying the semis at 3-3, but lost at the Mixers on a disappointing loss in their career, with 23 points behind the Mixers. Due to incessant coaching change, not having a uniform system, this team continued to fail in spite of a powerhouse lineup. Hiring a coach on a long-term basis, with full control of the team, will definitely help. Controversies: Jaworski and Fernandez, 2 former Toyota teammates, engaged in a feud in 1984. Apparently, Toyota's players were sold to new team Beerhausen. Jaworski, in defiance, refused to play for Beerhausen and joined Ginebra. The franchise sellout was the final straw in the 2-year silent feud of Jaworski and Fernandez within Toyota. It finally exploded into a war between the two. However, in the 1989 All-Star Game, Jaworski and Fernandez were teammates for the veterans. In the final seconds, with the game tied, Jaworski's pass to Fernandez led to the veterans escaping a 132-130 win against the rookies sophomores-juniors team in the inaugural All-Star Game. Afterwards, Jaworski and Fernandez shook hands to the delight of a capacity crowd at the Philsports Arena, which signaled the reconciliation between the two legends. On May 15, 1990, Shell defeated Ejo Rum for a Euro 2 to win the 1990 PBA First Conference title. However, it sparked a controversy in the sixth and final game of the series when the whole Ejo team walked out with still 2:52 left in the second quarter in favor of the Zoom Masters, 62-47. Back-to-back technical fouls were slapped by referee Rudy Hines on Ray Cuenco led to the walkout. Coach Robert Jaworski and team manager Bear Navarro refused to return to the court, which resulted in the forfeiture of the game, and the championship to Shell. 2 days later, the league fined Ejo a whopping 550,000 pesos, the biggest in league history. It was the second time that a forfeiture happened in a PBA Finals series since Crispa in Game 4 of the 1975 series against rival Toyota. Robert Jaworski resigned as player-coach of the team after the 1998 season due to misunderstandings with the management of San Miguel Corporation. It is claimed that the former Philippines senator was frustrated over the team's acquisition of Alan Coidic as a player-assistant coach from San Miguel without first getting input from Jaworski. On May 17, 1999, a bench-clearing brawl ensued during Game 2 of the All-Filipino Cup semi-finals series against Formula Shell. A total of 235,000 pesos was slapped on 16 players and one official from both teams. Shell's J. Mendoza was fined 40,000 pesos, while Ginebra players Naulai Locsin, Elmer Lago, Chris Bellardo and Boy Valera were fined 20,000 each. In the 2005 PBA Philippine Cup Finals, Barangay Ginebra was awarded the winner of the first game of the series, after finals opponent Tanquingcen Phone Pals fielded the suspended Asi Taulava. With documents of his Filipino blood still questionable, the Phone Pals used the 6-9 center in their victory. The Kings filed a protest prior to the start of the game. 2 days later, then PBA Commissioner Naulai Ilo announced the forfeiture of Tanquingcen's Game 1 win. In popular culture, Gary Granada, a well-known composer and singer in the Philippines, composed numerous songs about the Kings. Chenbrang Ginebra, Kapag Nananalo ang Ginebra sung by Byng Barrios, Kapag Natatalo ang Ginebra, sung by himself. The latest was Dugong Ginebra right after the 2008 PBA Fiesta Conference Championship. Current roster. Aqua also serves as Barangay Ginebra's alternate governor. Season-by-season records. Records from the 2013 Euro 14 PBA season, 1-game playoffs, team had the twice-to-beat advantage, on a roll. Players of note, members of the PBA's 25 greatest players, Johnny Barrientos, known as the Flying throughout his career. Acquired by the team in 2006 when he became free agent. Francis Arnaiz, a glamour boy back from his days with Toyota, joined Jaworski at Ginebra and became one of the most popular players in franchise history. He retired in 1986 after 3 seasons with the team. Alan Coidic, known as the Triggerman, he played his last season with Ginebra in 1999, before becoming team manager of the team and currently an assistant coach. Philip Caesar, the scholar, played his last season with the team during his celebrated 16-year PBA career. Freddie Huebelder, played for Ginebra during the final year of his career. Robert Jaworski, known as the Big J, and Jawo. Virgil Meanses, also known as the Aerial Voyager, played for Ginebra from 1999 to Euro 2002. Sam Boy Lim, the Skywalker, is the current team manager but never played with the team. Other notable players. Imports, retired numbers. AAA Euro retired on July 8, 2012 during the semi-final round of the 2012 PBA Governors' Cup. BAA Euro retired during the 2000 PBA season after announcing Coidic's retirement. Jersey number retired together with the San Miguel Beermen. Coaches, Paolo Pumaran, Chiro Vanzorna, Robert Jaworski, Reno Salazar, Alan Coidic, C. Tanquingcen, Jong Uichico, Al Francisco, Atto Augustin, Jeffrey Carriaso. Team managers, Adolf Ferrer, Art Trinidad, Bernabe Navarro, Alan Coidic Jr. Cabalan, Samboy Lim, Al Francisco. External links, Ginebra Gin Kings Interactive Community, Ginebra Online, Barangay Ginebra Fan Site, Barangay Ginebra Kings, mypba.com thread, History of Ginebra, mypba.com thread, Ginebra Superstars Past and Present, References.